Welcome, conscious beings. Today we're going to be looking through different subreddits that deal with MBTI and see what kind of questions we can come across and offer some answers. If you appreciate that this isn't some AI scripted, I don't use notes or scripts, I just talk. If you appreciate that, then please leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Let's get started. So the first one that I'm coming across on the ENTJ forum is, I have an ENTJ mom, please help. Well, let's see what it says. It says, so I'm an INTJ, my mom is an ENTJ, and she's very assertive overall, so assertive that my dad tends to agree with her perspectives and choices, even when they might not align with his own views or preferences. Most likely, she probably married somebody who is her opposite, and so yeah, I'm sure he's like, yeah, that's fine, you take it. I don't like to do that stuff anyway. So they go on to say, and they're very sensitive to disorder and any signs of slacking. She's hardworking also, like she won't let a single task to another day. But personally for me, being at home often feels like I'm in an office or some kind of competition. She wants my siblings and me to excel at everything, which we do academically. But at the same time, she wants us to be athletic, well-read, knowledgeable, communicative, disciplined, organized, well-dressed. She even bought a karaoke system kind of thing, which I don't have a clue what it is, for us to get better at singing, even though most of us are focused on fields of physics or math or computers in general. And that's not the end of it. She can't emphasize enough the importance of social life and friendships. What a catastrophe for me as an INTJ and my INTP sibling. So they say, I want to ask if this is a common thing among you guys or if it's specific to my mom, and that, he actually does agree with most of what she says because he likes her overall idea. However, the level of seriousness and sensitivity to any slack or disorganization feels a bit extreme. What do you guys think? One thing that's really important to understand about the TE leads is that they feel very responsible for making sure that everybody is doing the best that they can, and they feel responsible for managing that process, managing other people. And one of the things that Carl Jung talks about that I want to be really specific on and really point out here, because Carl Jung, in his book, Psychological Types, when he's talking to the different types, he's talking about a kind of an unhealthy version of that type. He's talking about somebody who's stuck in their ego. And one of the things that he warns about, and he warns about all the different types, about, hey, if you're stuck in your ego, this is what's going to happen. And so he did the same thing for the TE, and he said these kinds of people, TE leads, can be some of the paragons of the community. They can be somebody who is in a leadership position, and I think what he references is somebody who's maybe a pastor, right? Somebody who is focused on the community, but he says, but at home, they become the tyrant. And this is a warning to ENTJs, ESTJs, about taking home. It's one thing whenever you have that TE mentality and you bring that into work and you bring that into your groups and you are managing other people, and that's great. You are born to see that information and to manage it. The problem is whenever you can't stop being in that mode and being in your first cognitive function, and doing it so much that it becomes something that is very hard for others to deal with. And that's everybody. Everybody who's just so focused on that first cognitive function gets stuck and just kind of trying to drive over everybody with it. And so for the TE, one of my recommendations is to try not to bring that home too much. Of course, you're going to see that information and go, hey, you could be doing this better. You're kind of falling behind here. And that's great. You're a parent. You want to do that. Or you could be a friend. We're talking about a mother, but it could be a friend. And that's somebody that they're going to see and say, I kind of can't help it. I see what you're doing wrong and I have to correct you. I can't not do it. It's just, it's every part of my being says I have to correct this. And The problem is it becomes so overbearing when we keep trying to make other people think like us. And how can you be missing that? Here, let me help you. And the thing is that we're not helping, we're becoming tyrannical and trying to make somebody think like us, or pointing out that information and saying, you're not thinking like me, you're missing this. To do that in a helpful way, and I think that's what she's trying to do. I think she has nothing but good intentions. Sounds like she's really trying to manage them to be the most successful that they can. And I think in there he says he's an INTJ and his brother's an INTP. And one of the things he points out is that he doesn't like how she is trying to improve them socially. And he's like, hey, our two types, we're not going to be good at that. Now, the thing is that if she is older and she's a TE lead, most likely, hopefully, she has learned that throughout her life and gone, you know what, I have struggled socially and I want to make sure you don't make those same mistakes. But that's what parents are trying to show you, is going, hey, this is where I struggled. I'm going to tell that to you and explain that to you so that you don't go through that same exact frustration, and that's going to keep you back like it did me. Now that I know that I need to make sure that I'm more social with people and understand that I need to lay off the TE a little bit. But the problem is that she might have done that in her own life and put that into work in her own life and her own experiences. The problem is that she hasn't brought that home. She's still trying to manage that at home to the point of costing, or at least causing issues with her relationships at home, even though she has nothing but good intentions. Now, the thing that I want to say to this INTJ is, like I've said in other videos, it is imperative that you understand and listen to other people and listen to it as information. Stop kind of judging it, stop taking it personally, and go, okay, you know what? She has a very specific thing that she's trying to point out, and maybe I should listen to it and go, is that true? Should I be focused on all these different things? And, you know, is that true that even though I don't like to hear it, I definitely can see why she's pointing out all of these social needs and things that I need to be aware of and how it's going to help me in my life. And I don't want to do it. I do find it frustrating and it kind of aggravates me even whenever she brings it up, but maybe that's a reason that I need to focus on it, because I don't do that. So try not to judge the information, try to hear it. And hopefully, if you know a lot about typology, and it sounds like your mother is somebody who's very open to learning things and incorporating things into how she manages her life and her systems around her. And so if she knows about MBTI, maybe point out that, hey, I know you're doing this because you mean well, but I would like to just relax a little bit more around you. I would like to be able to sometimes go and make my own mistakes. I want to sometimes be able to figure things out for myself. I do, appreciate you. I do love you. You're my mother. But sometimes I just want to not have to hear all the things that I'm not doing or all the things I should be doing every second of the day. Sometimes I just want to talk to you. Hopefully, again, she can also hear that as information and go, you know what, I'm bringing this home too much. I'm putting this TE onto my family, and it's not helpful in my relationships with them. Even if I'm extremely well-meaning, sometimes I just need to power that down a little bit. So hopefully that's something that they can do, and everybody can just kind of lower their egos a little bit and listen to each other.